get to talk about significance. This is, wow, do you matter? Does what you do matter? Does what your time on this planet, make a difference? All those kind of questions are pretty central to our being, and we are going to investigate that. We are doing citizenship, not because that was first on the list, but because July 4th is this week. I'm going to have to mix these up a little bit, so we'll start with this. You don't get, the where it would have started anyway, just because of the timing. But that's all right. That it's an important aspect of this, who we are and what we're doing and how we fit, and the whole where we're going with this will be very cosmic and eternal, and then practical, all at the same time. There's a lot going on as we look into this, and it is the day of the persecuted church. So there's a day in November we remember to pray for the persecuted church as another opportunity. But this one, as you saw in the video, was focused on India, and they typically, Voice of the Martyrs will pick some part of the world to share something, some aspect, and that was the area that they wanted to highlight this time around. The people in India the population has now outstripped China. So we've got this huge population of people coming from a Hindu background and various cultures and languages all in that country. The colorful aspects that you've seen, that's true throughout, but then there are a lot of uniquenesses, a lot of differences that are taking place all over that country. And Thomas, the Apostle Thomas, actually did go there, died there, and there's a church, Mar Thoma, and it's an area. There are these Christians who are still connected to that historically. That's 2,000 years into this thing, in that portion of India, which is pretty awesome. We have, through no fault of our own, uniquely gotten connections with India. So here we are, far away from India, and even, this morning there were posts from Gracie's, from India, her dad, and the church as they met, because that was yesterday for Sunday. And I received from another Indian pastor some things to pray for, and somebody getting baptized, and so that's just, here we are on this side of the world, and yet we have connections with somebody. And these aren't people in New Delhi or Mumbai. These are people out in the boonies. And, in their small towns are only 1 million or whatever. Populations are incredible. But to have that connection is pretty amazing. We happen to be of the countries of the earth, one that provides hope and the opportunity to think so differently that it grabs their imaginations. They don't want to give up the colorful aspects of their culture, but they know that there are things that are holding them back, things that chain them and keep them from flourishing, and they could actually flourish. So look at this cool poster that Sherry stuck up here, and taped again because it fell earlier, so made sure it's staying up here. But this is representing something that it really does shine. I mean, it really does make a difference. There are 50 stars, you get that. Every one of those states has a story and how God worked and then brought all of that together. You go, well, yeah, and I'm mad at it, and I want to protest, and this thing, it needs a lot of work. You go, yeah, to a more perfect union. They never said it was perfect. To a more the responsibility is on us to make it better. If we're complaining, then we're complaining about our lack of effort to do better. That's us, not them, not out there, us. This, you know who that came from? Anybody? France. 1789 is a time when they had their big revolution. We're going to change. We're going to have freedom. So theirs is July 14th. Ours is July 4th. Ours started in 1776. By 1789, we've won a war and we've got a constitution. You go, wow. We've got something that guides us, something that says, here's freedom. This is what it looks like. Those guys said, hey, let's do that. Off with your head. Theirs was a revolution of blood. Did not include in God we trust. They booted God. They thought, that's just ridiculous. We don't want any part of that. We're going to do this thing. It's a time of rationalism. We humans can do this. They failed. They tried something else, and then Napoleon takes over because there's a huge gap. Same thing happened in Germany with Hitler. You go, and there's a gap. You get somebody like that. You go, how is it that we've made it this long? Look how far we are along that path. And we got Iwo Jima, the Marines, and if you didn't know, that picture was taken twice. These guys, they had the first round. And then the guys, this is the second raising of that flag, and the photographer got that picture. Les told us this morning that his dad was there and saw both of those flags go up. To be in the midst of that, I mean, that is a incredible statement of the tenacity of those warriors in that place against an empire that did not want to let up. But had they won, there are atrocities all over the Pacific that reflect what their mentality was during that time, leading up to World War II and then putting an end to it. Same thing like Germany or Russia. And you're going, there's just these horrible things. Who is it that stands against that and allows people to have their freedom, their dignity, to be able to live, to move forward? Who will stand for that? And you go, well, I don't know. So these guys get their faces in stone to remind us that's what that was. We started with somebody trying to unite this thing and break away and give us freedom. We got Washington. Lincoln's trying to put the country back together when it was trying to split apart. That's a pretty big job. Jefferson laid out the Declaration of Independence, helped with Constitution, some early stuff. It doesn't mean they're not knotheads in some other area. It's just that they did some good things to get this thing settled and moving in the right direction. And then Teddy bears. We got that out of him. No, he just said, you know what? This country should do better at working together themselves, but also we can do better for the world. The whole Panama Canal really is not just about us. That is a good thing for trade. It really helped in a bigger thing. He played a big part in that. So here's this whole group of people from way back leading up to freedom, and then the French give us this because they recognize you guys did it, we didn't, but there's still hope. There's still a light. So, significant citizenship, you get to be a part of something. People in India can be proud of their Indian heritage, but there's some horrible things happening and have happened and continue to happen. Doesn't mean there's not beautiful things there too, but it's kind of like France. You go, you guys do really good on you cook really well. There's some other things here that really need to be looked at. And so through the years, some improvements have been made, but I suspect that early thinking, the rationalism that said, we really don't need God in this thing. And if you listen to Americans who are saying, that those early days when this all started, those guys weren't really Christians. This wasn't really biblical. You go, y'all ought to read your Bible and go back and look at the history and then see what their letters reflect and see because it's everywhere. It was biblical. It was based on people getting together, not perfectly, but trying to do it more perfectly. And so that's where we are, which is an kind of exciting thing to consider. So how does citizens in a country make a difference, because we are part of something different? So let's look at citizens on earth and in heaven. Citizens on earth and in heaven. We have a unique place. God has invited us to be part of his family. So now we are children of God. And children of God come into this thing not as a nursery, not as a child who gets to be held and diapers changed and fed every couple hours. I don't know, maybe that sounds appealing to some, because there are whole Christian groups who think that's the whole thing, and heaven will be that God just, you're just here to be cuddled and suckled, and it'll all be just wonderful, and you're going to just be patted on the head, and you're cute because you get to go to heaven. And some people think, man, it won't be achy, I don't have to pay taxes, it's all good. It's not it. You are a child of God, fully grown, not a baby, fully grown, a citizen of heaven, part of this amazing group of people, humans, who are now divine, part of this thing that God is doing. And we get to be part of that, citizens of heaven. But we're also on earth, so there's that very practical aspect. We're not there yet. So how do we live knowing that's coming and then live that out here? And sometimes that's what's required when freedom calls, when you have to write some things, you have to stand up against some other authorities that have gone sideways. You may even have to fight. All of those things. Part of citizenship. Citizens of heaven, from Philippians 1. Above all, you must live as citizens of heaven, conducting yourselves in a manner worthy of the good news about Christ. Above all. Above all means when you can fit it in, when it's convenient, when it's comfortable. And that's not true. Above all means that's what you do first. That is the priority. There is nothing else. Well, wait a minute. I just want more money, and the economy sucks and costs more for gas. And above all, you must live as citizens of heaven. And then there's some other things. Above all, you must live as citizens of heaven, conducting yourselves in a manner worthy of the good news about Christ, which means you've got to understand what that is, how lofty that is, how important that is, how powerful that is, what God has done in sending Christ, and the good news about Christ, the full thing. Here's the God from heaven who's come to earth. He's been born here. He's lived among us. He has taught us things that are so radical. It's not just, we get a key to heaven, we get to go to heaven, we have a bed to sleep in. This is full on. It's about all of it. How do we live it? How do we breathe it? How do we chew it every day? How do we do and live at a level where the bar is the highest? Worthy of the good news about Christ. He's not lowering the bar so we can just fit in and whatever you want to do, and aren't you cute? And I'll just take all your pain away and change your diaper when you get to heaven. Nope. He's talking about citizens. People who take up responsibility. People willing to fight and die. Citizens of heaven. You just saw the video in India, persecuted. The Greek word martus is martyr. It means those who were witnesses of Christ, those who would tell other people about Christ, the good news about Christ. And they're willing to share that with people because that matters, and willing to die. Most people don't know those who have been martyred, and there have been hundreds in the last couple of weeks. Probably don't know their names. May not have even crossed your mind that that was an issue. But if your gas was low or somebody frustrated you at the grocery store, I bet you remember that. And these people gave their lives for a cause because they are citizens of heaven. We are called to be citizens of heaven. And the bar is not set low. It's the highest possible bar. It is to live in a manner worthy of the good news about Christ. How do you live as a citizen of heaven while on earth? Wow. This is a breakout session, a picture of one of the... No, it isn't. Let's bring that question up. I thought it looked cool like that, so I thought I'd put it out there. How do you live as a citizen while on earth? Citizen of heaven while on earth. And that's when this thing starts getting challenging. The reality, the practical, all that, it starts messing with us. It starts taking us to places we're going, man, I don't know. This is far from where I think, or where my head lands, or my heart lands pretty much every day, because we're so tied up in us and our us stuff around us, that to think citizen of heaven, representing him well. Well, let's see. Jesus, we should probably follow him. So, and what we're going to do over some time is we'll talk a whole lot more about how, because significance is going to be related to this. So this isn't, we'll introduce it here, but this will keep going for a few weeks. Not of this world. Not of this world. Jesus, in dealing with the threat of death immediately, he's already been to court several times. He's been arrested. This is after the Lord's Supper. He's in Gethsemane. He's already prayed. He's been arrested. Now he's standing with Pilate. And he says, my kingdom is not an earthly kingdom. If it were, my followers would fight to keep me from being handed over to the Jewish leaders. But my kingdom is not of this world. It was Jesus who said, pay your taxes to Caesar. Pay the temple tax. He did all that. So it's Israel. He's paying the local taxes. He's paying the empire tax. He's a citizen of Israel. He's a citizen of the Roman Empire. Did you know that? He is a citizen of this world, but his kingdom is bigger than this world. His kingdom is not of this world, though it encompasses it. It's coming because he's out there. He's over all. The kingdom is not of this world. So if we're following him, we're going to be like Jesus. We want to do the things Jesus has called us to do. And it came down to it. Could we say that our kingdom is not of this world, but the things that consume me, the things that frustrate me, the things that make me mad, the things I want to fix, the dreams I have are of this world? Because he says that is not the case. Not the case. But if we wake up every day consumed with, this is me, my stuff, my world, my dreams, my place, my kingdom is of this world. He said, that's not how it works. He's not even bothered that Pilate's saying, I can have you killed. And he says, are you a king? He said, well, yeah. But my kingdom is not of this world. And if I wanted, I'd just call in 10,000 of those angels that you can't see, but they're right there. And put an end to this. Put an end to the Roman Empire. But my kingdom is not of this world. So how do we handle it as citizens of heaven and earth? How do we handle which one is going to be the priority? Which one is above all? Jesus said, my kingdom's not an earthly kingdom. And following him, we have an opportunity to consider that as well. Let's look at heaven. There's a lot going on. We get to be citizens now, even though we're here. The more we connect with God, the more centered we are on what he's doing, what his kingdom is about, what the king is thinking, what his heart is set on, the more impactful we can be in the world in which we live. Now, there are things waiting for us. There's a huge banquet. He's just given us a clue that there's good eats. It's going to be some good stuff waiting. But that's a celebratory moment where we gather together with him. He wants to celebrate. He wants to celebrate us. And he wants us to celebrate knowing that evil is destroyed. There are a bunch of things about that banquet that are details about that banquet that get really exciting, and details we don't have time for right now. But King is on his throne, and he has a whole lot that he's doing in heaven, a lot he wants to do here. We, as citizens of heaven and earth, have a part to play in asking in prayer for the things in heaven to be done on earth. The way that they're done in heaven, done on earth. Jesus says, go do that. Okay. Do I ever remember to do that? Because, above all, I am a citizen of heaven. I'm a part of that. So am I praying for that? Do I even think about that? Do I even know what that would mean? How does that even take place? And it can get lost with the immediacy of the things that are right around us. Isaiah 26:3 says, if you keep your mind set on heaven, on God, you're looking at him, then his peace will come. And I've had prayer requests recently with, pray for me to have peace. And I send back things like Isaiah 26:3, which is not applauded by people, by the way. Because what that says is, I need to set my mind up there with him on the throne, recognizing these are the things that are important to him. Well, the only thing important to me is I just want relief from my pain, my frustration, my fear, my anxiety, my worry. I don't know. Let me just run through that. Don't worry about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication. Now what? The scripture says don't worry because you're going to, you have anxiety. Well, you know what? It goes away when you set your mind on those things. What's Isaiah 26:3 say? It's my responsibility to take my stuff, my mind, my heart, and set it there. I am a citizen of heaven. Well, I want him to come down and fix it. Just take away whatever frustrates me. Just, you come here, fix it. And he's saying, grow up, citizen of heaven. I'm not changing your diaper. Grow up, citizen. Take responsibility. Citizen of heaven, focus on him, understanding his kingdom. So what's his kingdom? It's a bigger one. It's not all about this one. It's about helping us to understand something. Let's go let's go see things missing in heaven. Things missing in heaven. There's a bunch of people. We'll have them. Okay. Things missing in heaven. Satan. Rebellious. Heavenly beings. And people who want nothing to do with God or his ways. They will not be in heaven. He just clears those out. We have them here. They're all around. They're impacting things. This isn't heaven yet. This isn't the time when everything just is going to work out and be peachy keen. This is not it. That's later. But if we're complaining about it and we haven't prayed, we haven't sought him, we haven't acted as a citizen of heaven, we have no right to complain whatsoever. We haven't done our part. We haven't been a citizen. We haven't been responsible. If there's anyone to blame, it's going to come, don't look in the mirror, because that's where you'll find it. It rests with the citizens of heaven. Satan, rebellious heavenly beings will not be there. People who want nothing to do with God or his ways, not be there. Insecurity over looks. What? This make me look fat? Insecurity over looks. Is that a big deal? All over the place. Gone. Gone. I don't know if you've read Revelation, but some of those creatures have like a face of an eagle and a bull. You go, okay, that one's scary. Some of them have 4 faces, and you go, well, dude, that's a problem. What is happening? Or you get the angels with eyes all around the wings. You go, yeah, they're obviously not concerned about looks. Insecurity over looks, or what you have, or feeling less than others, or not having enough food. All of it. Those will be missing in heaven. Those feelings, those reality. We're going to have a banquet, but the trees put out, remember Revelation 22, the trees will produce fruit every month, and you can just eat away. And the leaves heal the nations. I mean, these plants are amazing. Insecurity over all those kind of things will be gone. Impatience, selfishness, arrogance, feeling unloved or not belonging. Gone. Just gone. Well, I demand God fix it now. Well, you're going to be seeing the throne and him on it, and the lightning's going to be going, and you're not going to tell him how to do his thing or what time he needs to do it. You just won't. It goes away. It should go away now. Selfishness, nope. What can we do for others? We're not done with that, by the way, for all eternity. Or what can we do in keeping with what God is up to and what he's doing in his broader kingdom? Arrogance and seeing myself as above all others. Not when you see him above all others. That goes away. Feeling unloved, you go, wait a minute. The one who died for me is right there. That one. Right there by the throne. Him who's worthy to take the scroll and open it because he was willing to come and die on our behalf. That one. I'm loved because of him. I know. And not belonging, you're brought in as a child of God, part of the family. You got people everywhere. And not only the people, but the other children of God are the divine beings who have not rebelled, and they are there. Belong to them. And to the God of heaven who created all things. Those things will be missing. Other things missing in heaven. Not appreciating Jesus or listening to God. What? Yeah, there's a tendency to not appreciate Jesus and not to listen to God while we're here. That goes away because we will appreciate him. Not caring about others. That goes away. That's pretty awesome. We'll actually care. Even about people we don't care about, we'll care. It just changes it all. Or injustice, that goes away. We find that all the time. Why would that happen? This is evil. That's horrible. How could that possibly happen? Just these bad things happen to good people. Why? Injustice goes away. And acts of evil. Acts of evil. You don't have to look on the news to see it, because it will be gone, because it won't be in heaven. We are citizens of that kingdom. And he said, live like it here. Live worthy. All that here. Citizenship on earth. Those guys who didn't spend time in the scriptures, supposedly by some in recent times, claiming that those early fathers to this nation, or fathers and mothers, because if you read about Abigail Adams, she did as much to shape this country as anybody. Citizenship on earth. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Men in those days meant everybody. That they are endowed by their Creator. Wow, that sounds sort of biblical. With certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they found that in biblical text. And they presented it to the king to say, there's more to this, and your kingdom is not the final kingdom. Thanks for playing, however. Crazy King George. They did not add that part. But the Creator has done these amazing things. He's given people the ability to work together to accomplish more. And that's the citizenship. We come together in and around those concepts. So, citizens of heaven. Citizens of heaven. Back to Philippians 1:27. Above all, you must live as citizens of heaven, conducting yourselves in a manner worthy of the good news about Christ. He's called us to something more, to something better, to something higher. And we get to live that out. We are citizens of heaven. By coming to Him, we are connected to something greater, something filled with truth and love and justice. All those things our hearts long for are wrapped up in Him and in His kingdom. And we get to be part of it. He's saying we need to live that out here, to be citizens, to make this. And the opportunity we have in this world at this time is to make this country the best it can be, so that we can help other countries be the best they can be, so that together we are helping others become citizens of heaven too. It's a big job. We found out that 1%, because we went to the Japanese, there's an Evangelical Free Church of America, EFCA. There's an EFCJ, which is the Evangelical Free Church of Japan. So they had representatives at this meeting, and so we hung out with them. And they have 1% of the population of Japan are Christians. So 1%, and the rest are still many secular, but they're also into ancestor worship, Shintoism, Buddhism, a different way of thinking. They are creative people. You know, we've all been affected by things that they've invented or things that they make, and that part of it is cool. God, the Creator, has done this amazing thing. 1% know Him, and having an opportunity to make a difference. They were thrilled to death to have a church, the largest church, their mega church. Because we have the guys there and the guys who represent the whole of EFCJ at this meeting. And they put the maps up on the screen for us. 1% are Christians, and they're spread out from Okinawa in the south to Sapporo, the island at the northern end. And these churches, a mega church there, with all the people they have in Japan, would have 35 people in it. They are thrilled to have a church that has 20. And the pastors of those churches, some of them were there, and they have, with that many people, I mean, with churches that size, when the tsunami, earthquakes, when those disasters happen, they put teams together and they go help. And then they have an opportunity, and the Japanese people don't know what to do with it because they came to help. And they don't understand why you would do that. One of the pastors said he moved to this area in Nagoya, and he was trying to get to know his neighbors, and he would say good morning every morning as they got up to go to work. Most of these guys are bivocational, so getting up to go to work to say hello to his neighbor, good morning, took 1 year before the guy ever responded. And he said just building a relationship is really tough. So they've got a tough go, and yet they still put together enough people. The Christian people are putting, in these tiny churches, are putting together enough people to go help in these horrible situations. And then the people, suspicious at first, and then when they realize they're doing this for a whole different reason, and they're not here to take our money, or they're just here. It's like they're citizens of heaven on earth. This is amazing. It's just incredible what is happening. And you are part of that. So significance, you are a citizen of heaven. And you are significant. Your life lived in the power of God while you are on earth will be significant. You get to play a part in something so much bigger. And we will talk more about that later. Let's pray. Father, thank you for allowing us to be part of this, to be citizens of heaven, to be citizens of this country, to be citizens in a place where we can help make a difference for people in other countries around this world. Thank you for allowing us to be alive now, in this time, that sometimes we complain about. But you timed it so that we would be here to do our part as citizens of heaven and doing our part on earth. Thank you for allowing us to do that. Maybe we didn't quite catch it, but we can catch it today, and we can do something about it. We appreciate all that you have done. We thank you for the future that lies ahead, for all that will be unfolding in heaven. Help us to do well in our time on earth. In Jesus' name, amen.